Years ago.
It's the same ferry.
Same
ferry we're on.
From this fateful scene with the film's despicable mayor.
You yell shark. We've got a panic on our hands on the 4th of July.
James Haggerty leads the town today.
Do you bristle a little bit at the depiction?
I do sometimes, and people often give me that 1974 sport jacket with the anchors.
Sick vandalism.
Beyond the terror, Jaws is really a hero story.
Smile, you son of a...
It may be 50,
I think the tide's with us.
but it never gets old.
Keep kicking.
Stephanie Gosk, NBC News, Martha's Vineyard.
And you can watch a special showing of Jaws tonight right here at 8 p.m. Eastern on NBC. View at your own risk. All right, that's Nightly News for this Friday. Remember, tonight and always, we're here for you. I'm Tom Yamas. Have a great weekend.
Make sure to record NBC Nightly News with Tom Yamas or add to your favorites now.
From News 7 KWWL, this is breaking news.
We begin with breaking news right now at 6. A Waterloo judge has made a decision on the future of a building that partially collapsed 2 weeks ago. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Kling.
And I'm Luke Birdsall. Now, the judge says that downtown building can be demolished. KWWL's Maria Turner joins us live in the newsroom with more.
Yeah, Luke, the future of the old Waterloo Candy Company building has been in question since June 5th. That's when part of it came down, leading to road closures in the area near the intersection of Park Avenue and Washington Street. Now, not only is the judge allowing the building to come down, the demolition cost is being charged against the value of the property. Engineers for the city said there were major safety concerns, including significant cracking in the bricks, a shifted wall, and severe water damage that has worsened over time. They also called it unfit for human occupancy. The building's owner was trying to save the structure. It's not yet clear if the owner will appeal today's ruling, and a timetable for demolition has not been set. Live in the newsroom, Maria Turner, News 7 KWWL.
All right, Maria, thanks so much for the update there. We want to get a look at the current conditions now. We'll check out the view in Waverly. This is the view from Waverly Utilities. You can see the nice blue skies still, and we'll check in with Chief Meteorologist Mark Schnackenberg as the temperature is climbing and will continue to do so all weekend, right?
Yeah, we'll have those blue skies all weekend long. So if you look at the camera, you'll enjoy that same view, but it'll feel a whole lot different. Heat advisory for the entire area. Heat index tomorrow, 100 to 110. Same thing on Sunday, as well as Monday, but the heat index will probably be more upper 90s, low 100s. So you get into that point where you're splitting hairs. It is dangerously hot when you compare the heat and the humidity combined there. 80s right now across the board. Tomorrow we'll get into the 90s, which is already occurring in our western part of the state. That is all coming in our direction here for tomorrow. Humidity level is increasing tonight, and look at the overnight lows. Overnight lows are only going to drop down into the upper 70s. Very muggy start as you head outside, because the afternoon highs will get into the 90s. I guess will help a little bit. It's going to be windy. Winds will be gusting at times to about 35 miles an hour, both Saturday and Sunday. Rain expected for next week to cool things off. We'll talk more about that in your Storm Track 7 forecast.
All right, Mark, thanks so much. Well, many eastern Iowa communities spent time today cleaning up from strong storms this morning. Heavy rain caused flash flooding in some areas, and strong winds knocked down a whole lot of tree limbs, leaving many people without power at times. Mid-American Energy says as soon as it was safe, their crews were ready to work on repairs.
So not every outage is caused by the same thing. In other words, yes, it's all related to a thunderstorm, but in some cases, it's a tree that goes down on an overhead line. In other cases, it may be a tree that just goes down on your property.
Well, Mid-American Energy urges people to keep an eye out for damaged tree limbs, which can damage power lines as well after the storm moves through if they're not taken care of properly. The deadline for the Winneshiek County Sheriff to respond to Iowa Attorney General Brenna Bird in a lawsuit has been extended now. This is all due to a Facebook post by Sheriff Dan Marks earlier this year talking about his stance on immigration law enforcement. within his county. And Byrd sued over that post, both Winnebago County and Sheriff Marks, that post has since been deleted. Marks filed for the lawsuit to be dismissed. Byrd's office responded, and it's the deadline for Marks's response now to Byrd's response that has been extended. The next hearing for the case is set for next month. Well, the wife of a Traer man killed 4 years ago appeared in front of a judge today, days before she is set to stand trial for murder. Karina Cooper is charged in the 2021 death of Ryan Cooper. Today, the judge and lawyers discussed whether to include conversations Karina had with another suspect on a social media app as evidence. Ryan Cooper was found dead inside his home after police say that he was shot twice in the head. Authorities now have charged 2 people for the murder, Karina and also Houston Danker. Danker's trial is scheduled to begin in August. Karina's trial is set to begin on July 1st.
Well, a man is recovering tonight after he lost control of his motorcycle and crashed this morning while traveling over I-380. Lynn County Sheriff's Office officials say the motorcyclist was driving on Lewis Access Road at around 11:15 when he suddenly approached a truck that was waiting to turn onto the on-ramp. Now, as he approached the truck, the driver lost control and crashed. He was taken to the local hospital, but is expected to be okay.
Had a pile of hay that was on fire and responded out to help put that fire out.
Fire crews in Ames were busy early this morning putting out a hay bale fire inside a dairy barn at Iowa State University. Firefighters were on that scene for hours, trying to remove as many bales of hay from the building as possible. Now, added into the mix, that's stormy weather all across the state today.
Rain certainly helped as we got the hay out of the building. When the worst of it came through, we were able to do what we could from areas of shelter, especially when the heaviest rain and some of the hail that came through.
All right, now a cause for this fire is still the subject of investigation. Residents in Des Moines have now gone over 1 week with a ban on watering their lawns. The latest update from Central Iowa Waterworks is that all water continues to meet EPA standards for safe, drinkable water. Now, the lawn watering ban is still remaining in place for now to help drive down demand and lower nitrate levels, allowing water to be produced at an effective rate to meet the needs of its residents. Over 60 communities in Iowa have reported unsafe nitrate levels in their drinking water since 2020. Now, some local farmers say they are trying to help, but they are facing some roadblocks.
Ready to jump in, but unfortunately, a lot of the resources that farmers use to help with clean water, help make healthy landscapes, a lot of those very programs that are a farmer-public partnership are up on the chopping block.
Mr. Lehman, you just heard from, says several farmers were recently in Washington, D.C., stressing to lawmakers the need for aid to address water quality and improve farming practices through covering crops, buffers, and testing their soil.
Well, a new railroad bridge is currently under construction in Iowa County. Cedar Rapids and Iowa City Railway Company are building the bridge over the Iowa River near Middle Amana. It'll replace an existing bridge that's 120 years old. The goal is to have it built by the fall, helping ensure safe and efficient rail car movement in that area. Waterloo Mayor Quentin Hart is attending the 93rd Annual U.S. Conference of Mayors this weekend. He and 200 other mayors from across the country are in Florida right now discussing issues in their communities. He says what makes these trips so special is getting a variety of perspectives.
It doesn't make a difference if you're a Republican or if you're a Democrat. A lot of our offices are nonpartisan. It's just mayors that are coming together to share best practices and work together collectively to work with our federal partners, helping us to be able to work with our state partners to solve the issues that people face every day.
Well, the mayors are discussing housing, public safety, local infrastructure, and also mental health in their communities. Mayor Hart says he enjoys learning about other practices that he can help to implement to improve Waterloo. And Cedar Rapids has finalized its ordinance for fireworks this year. The city will be following the state law by allowing consumer fireworks in city limits on July 3rd and 4th. At the times you see here on your screen, fireworks sales have already begun, And city leaders ask that any leftover debris is disposed of and that fireworks are only used on private property and not on any city streets or in city parks.
Well, this week, members of the small town in northwest Iowa are celebrating how far they've come from just a year ago when they were dealing with devastating flooding. Now, people of Haliburton have spent the past month reflecting on the impact that the floods have had as they prepare to commemorate this anniversary. On Thursday, they gathered at a park that was submerged underwater just last summer. Waters from the Big Sioux River destroyed several homes and businesses in the area. The feeling from many is that the event has brought them all closer together.
There was about a third of the homes in town. We have about 600 homes in town, and there was almost 200 that were affected by the flood.
This blessing that we're getting from different people, all the help, this community coming together again, it feels really good.
The celebration served as a reminder to the community of how far they've come in such a short amount of time and the hope that remains for the future ahead. Well, it has been a rocky road for the city of Strawberry Point to try and keep their city pool operating this summer, and next week all that hard work is going to pay off. Yeah, the city's pool is now set to open up on Monday thanks to some last-minute changes from City Council to choose not to close it up for the summer. City staff working around the clock now to get as much staff in place as possible to help run the pool effectively this summer. The pool plans to be open through August 10th.
Well, looking ahead now, as the saying goes, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade, and that is just what an Anamosa boy is doing this weekend with an annual fundraiser. Sully Streets has been holding lemonade stands for years to give money to a good cause, and last year they were able to raise a total of $10,000. Well, this year he plans to use the money to help in the fight against brain cancer. It's a battle that his own father has been fighting.
Really what this is too, it's just a sweet, pure of heart idea to help someone and help others. And it had a domino effect.
So lemonade stands will be up at Lubin Vineyards Winery and Boondocks Emporium, and all the proceeds will go to support cancer research at the Jones Regional Medical Center. Well, still ahead, the U.S. announces sanctions against companies helping Iran in its conflict with Israel. That plus reaction from members of the United Nations.
And the milestone a Northwest Iowa couple is looking to hit at the amusement park this summer. And as we go to break, take it to a live look outside over New Hampton. Your Storm Track 7 Chief Meteorologist Mark Schnackenberg has your full forecast coming up. You're watching News 7 KWWL. We've got you covered.
Welcome back, everyone. President Trump is issuing sanctions now on entities he believes helped Iran with weapon production. The U.S. Treasury Department says sanctions have been issued against 8 companies and 1 person. That includes ones that they believe assisted with technical components for the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, as well as transporting goods to Iran.
But we're ready, willing, and able, and we've been speaking to Iran, and we'll see what happens.
Well, these sanctions come after the president said that he will wait 2 weeks before deciding whether to intervene in the conflict between Iran and Israel. And that conflict is leading to clashes among United Nations diplomats. Ambassadors for Iran and Israel vowing to continue the fighting as both accuse the other of breaching international law.
The response have complied fully with international law, including humanitarian law. We have taken all necessary precautions to protect civilians.
This was the final window of opportunity to prevent Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons. We will not stop. Not until Iran's nuclear threat is dismantled.
Well, the Security Council held an emergency meeting to discuss the situation, which is now in its 2nd week. And a federal judge is blocking the Trump administration from trying to revoke the Student Exchange Visitor Program certification at Harvard University. The judge is directing the administration to immediately restore every visa holder and applicant at the university, returning those people to the status they would have held without the initial revocation.
Well, summer will officially begin for Iowa in just a matter of hours at the start of the summer solstice. And now, Schnack over there says it's 9:42 exactly, so be aware of that. Now, this marks both the longest day and the shortest night in the Northern Hemisphere. And while the weekend is going to bring some uncomfortable days to eastern Iowa, one couple in Dickinson County in northwest Iowa will look to have some fun all summer long. That's right, Tom and Margaret Wugazer are now attempting to ride a singular roller coaster 2,000 times this year. The two have spent countless summers at Arnold's Park amusement park there to enjoy their favorite ride. It's called The Legend. Now, they are already up, believe it or not, to 600 rides this year. And while they may have a lofty goal ahead of them, they have a plan to try and get it all done before the park closes up for the season.
First year, I think we were doing 10 a day. And then we started.
Last year doing 15.
Yeah, I went to 15, and this year we're trying to do 20 a day.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, last year they were actually able to get in 1,500 rides, so they came pretty close last year.
Oh, that's great. What a good goal. Exciting to see. All right, let's take another live look outside now. We will check out Dubuque. This is the view from the National Mississippi River Museum and Aquarium as we check in once again with Chief Meteorologist Mark Schnackenberg to talk about the heat that is moving in. It's not just hot, it's also dangerous. So we want to talk about the pets and the babies in conditions like this. So that's the biggest risk, right?
Yeah, especially for walking the dog on the pavement. That gets really, really hot as the temperatures get into the 90s. We're talking about summer as it officially begins. Today's the longest day, shortest night. Tomorrow, the daylight gets shorter by less than a second. And then on Sunday, by 4 seconds. So the trend is towards cooler weather or shorter days. It's going to be a while before that actually happens. Look at the rain that fell last night. Western counties coming in with a jackpot. 2-3 inches of rain in those areas. Otherwise, the rest of eastern Iowa, 1/4 of an inch of rain in many spots, some cases close to just 1/10 of an inch like in Iowa City. So western counties saw the heavy rain, and that's where all these reports come from. Beeman a little more than 3 inches, Steamboat Rock 2.83, 2.34 in Cedar Falls, 2.14 in Parkersburg, and Rhinebeck just short of 2 inches. Nothing out there right now. We got a clear sky, and there's where the storms were. With some damage reports there in our western counties where the heaviest of the rain fell as well. Now, as for the big picture, nothing left. That's actually the cloud cover to the south there was associated with those storms that came across the area early this morning. Now it's time to get a little muggy out there. Dew points are climbing now into the lower 70s in many locations. We'll be in the low to mid 70s here all the next 5 days. So very muggy conditions are going to hang around for a while. And with those overnight low temperatures, because it's so muggy, we'll have record warm low temperatures potentially here for the next 3 mornings. As for the heat index tomorrow afternoon, as well as Sunday and Monday, 100 plus expected. So take it easy outside if you're spending any time out there. Low 90s as we get towards Tuesday and Wednesday. Temperatures will start out tomorrow in the middle 70s. It'll be windy overnight, and it'll continue that way throughout the day tomorrow with lots of sunshine. Temperatures will get into the 90s. We're talking numbers in the middle to upper 90s. 97 for Waterloo. The warmest temperature last year was 98 degrees. So we'll get close to that, and it's only June. Got a lot of July and August to go. Southwest wind 15 to 25. Some of the gusts could be up around 35 miles an hour. Sunday, another hot one. Temperatures in the middle 90s, no records. Records are up over 100, and you'll see 90s again as we head into Monday. Chance for some thunderstorms late with the heat index 100 plus for the next 3 days. Storm Track 7 yellow alert as well as the heat advisory. Thunderstorms late on Monday, another chance on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. A lot of moisture, as I showed you, with dew points high. Any of these thunderstorms can drop 1 to 2 inches of rain, similar to what we saw last night. And with periods of rain each and every day, we'll have to watch to see where they fall and if there's going to be any flooding.
At least knew it was about. He was a New York Knick, so yeah. If
Now, KWWL Sports.
because of some Willis Reed type heroics from Tyrese Haliburton last night, the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder will play a decisive Game 7 for the 2025 NBA Championship on Sunday. The former Iowa State Cyclone star went from doubtful to no doubt, playing on a strained right calf muscle. Haliburton helped lead the Pacers to a 108-91 must-win to tie the best-of-7 game series at 3 games apiece. Haliburton had a modest statistical night, scoring 14 points, dishing out 5 assists, but it was his leadership and presence that impacted the victory for Indiana, and now it sets up an ultimate goal for Haliburton.
Dreamed of being in this situation my whole life, so to be here is really exciting for me and our group. And, like I said, what's happened in the past doesn't matter. What happened today doesn't matter. It's all about one game, and approaching that the right way. So everybody's got to take care of their bodies. Good couple film sessions, good preparation, to get ready for that, and let the cards fall where they may.
Decisive Game 7 is Sunday night, 8 o'clock in Oklahoma City.